I'm going a little more granular, not as big strokes. And I'm going to focus on one player in particular and then take that to a macro level. And that player is Rick Bates. We know what happened with this Bills offensive line last year. It was a mess. Feliciano's left on the left guard. We saw what happened in week 1. The man got destroyed by Cam Hayward. And then he never really played that much better. Gets hurt. Then we put Ike Bacher there. He's kind of there for a little bit. Tears his Achilles. Then we put in Rick Bates at left guard. And just as a recap, we got Rick Bates for peanuts. We traded a defensive end, Eli Harold, to the Eagles, which we were probably going to cut for Rick Bates. And I like to think we won that trade because ever since he came into the lineup during that Patriots game, I believe that's when he came in, he has looked solid. Very, very solid. And there's not, but, I'm going to scale back here. There is not a lot of sample size when it comes to Rick Bates being at left guard. What we know about him is that he can play all 5 positions very well. Or, I'm sorry, all 5 positions. But we didn't know that he could play left guard at a higher level than any other positions. Remember, he started at right guard, and during that Patriots game, Ike Bacher tears his Achilles, then he moves to left guard. And then other times we've seen him fill in at center. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the Bills know the worst that they can get at the left guard position is the level of Rick Bates' play. So what I'm trying to say is that what we saw last year with Rick Bates stabilizing the position, that is the floor, right? The Bills can only potentially get better. And let's say they draft a player that's better than Rick Bates, that should be good. Like, you should want that. And it's not that I don't want Rick Bates to do better, but if we can get someone even better at the left guard position, and let's say we don't do that, I'm confident that Aaron Kromer, one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL who came back to Buffalo, can get the most out of these players. So I really think Rick Bates, we've seen the worst of him at left guard, and it wasn't that bad. In fact, I'd say it was probably above average to pretty good. So the ceiling just got even higher with Rick Bates. And man, I'm just thinking about how the run game went from middle of the tier to like top 10 statistically from those weeks that Justin and I were doing stats leading up to each game, and it just worked out really well. The passing game stayed consistent, but the real emphasis was that run game. And I'm really, really excited to see what Rick Bates and whoever's in that offensive line with Aaron Kromer and what they're going to bring into next year's competition, because, hey, no position is guaranteed. We know what the standard is, at least going into this offseason, and Aaron Kromer should know that too. So at worst case scenario, we have Rick Bates at left guard, right? That's awesome. And I'm saying this with a smile because, like, that's the worst we can do. That's the worst. Hey, I'll take it. I will take it because he's not that bad. Now, he's technically a restricted free agent this offseason, and the only thing the Bills really need to do is slap that tender on him and pay him like $2 million. Easy decision. Easy decision if you ask me. So, I hope he comes back. And if he doesn't come back, I got some serious questions about what's happening at One Bills Drive. So, yeah, that's my reason for being optimistic going into next offseason. We have stability at the left guard position, and that the worst possible scenario, it's the level of Rick Bates play, which is pretty good. So, we can only get better from there.